From Chisago Lakes High School in Lindstrom, we present another edition of High School Girls Basketball. Today we have two contenders, one from Section 4-3A and one from Section 7-3A. It's the Chisago Lakes Wildcats at 3-2 as they look to put a stop to the undefeated start of the Mahtomedi Zephyrs, who are ranked in the top 10 in Class 3A and currently hold a 6-0 record. Hi everyone, Mike Peden alongside Latoya Turk. And Latoya, on the surface, this matchup boils down to Carmen Backes and Emma Grothaus, and while there are a lot of supporting roles in this matchup, the headline is really exciting.
Absolutely. It's going to be nice to see what the young lady who's coming back from the ACL repair, how she gets her bearings about herself and with her increase in time to see how she performs. And then we got Grothaus, who's just been dynamic these past few games. So, yeah, it's going to be a nice matchup tonight.
The athlete that Latoya was referring to was Carmen Backes, who's been injured twice, and both season-ending injuries. In her sophomore year, a broken vertebra put her out. Last year was the ACL tear. She's played limited minutes so far, but in that span, she's averaging 17 points, almost 10 rebounds a game. I'd say that's pretty efficient for playing only half the minutes.
Absolutely, 17 points a game, and you're only playing half the minutes. And I think her time will be increased tonight. She's gotten cleared to play a little more time, so let's see. I'm sure she's ready to put some more buckets up.
Yep, she's been cleared to play roughly 14 minutes per half. We'll see how closely that is followed. And Anna Peters and Alethea Kluge are the players to watch who can spell for Backes in a pinch. For Mahtomedi, Emma Grothaus going to Lehigh. She's a walking double-double, averaging 25 points a game. 20 points or more in all 6 games this season. Emma is a stud, to put it in a simple term.
Force to be reckoned with. We'll see what they have to, I'm sure they've studied some film and they've watched her to see how they're going to decrease the amount of points that she scores tonight. That's kind of hard to do. It's kind of hard to do.
But if you try to contain Emma, you've got to deal with the likes of Annika Sogstad, averaging double digits in scoring, and in the game against Como Park that we had for you, 21 of 22 from the free throw line. So above all else, Chisago Lakes, I think their defensive plan is don't foul Annika.
Absolutely, when you're making 21 points from the free throw line. And also they have to pick their poison. So everyone's just going to have to play solid defense and be able to hold their man tonight. Or woman, for that matter.
Remember, this is a women's game. We'll have the starting lineups in a minute. You're watching High School Girls Basketball. And with that, let's take a look at the starters. For the visiting Mahtomedi Zephyrs, it's the same 5 from the Como game. So you'll see Annika Sogstad, number 10, the senior forward. Jose Underwood, number 11, the senior guard. Hannah Laughlin, number 12, the senior guard. Emma Grothaus, number 25, the senior forward. And Eve Farrell, number 32, the senior center. Chisago Lakes will start Carmen Backes, number 12, the senior guard. Anna Galach, number 20, the junior guard. Anna Peters, number 22, the senior guard. Heather Elfring, number 30, the senior guard. And Alethea Kluge, number 40, the senior forward. For the last couple of years, Chisago Lakes and Carmen Backes are intertwined in terms of fate. When Carmen Backes is on the floor, Chisago Lakes, they were a top 10 team a year ago, but following her injuries, wins are hard to come by, and that just shows you how much influence the Wisconsin standout, or I should say Wisconsin recruit, has for the Wildcats. And likewise with Mahtomedi and Emma Grothaus, they were a team that won just 4 games the year before she arrived. Since then, they've been a contender in 3A and are extremely focused on getting to state. They felt a little salty about being upset by De La Salle. They knocked off the Islanders at the Tip-Off Classic earlier this month, and I spoke with the players following the game, and they talked about how big a win it was to get them going.
Right.
And for Chisago Lakes, they have not been to state since 2014. Grand Rapids, the most likely foe, standing in their way with a D1 standout of their own, and Heaven Hamling, who already holds the school record in scoring. And another metric on how talented Carmen Backes is, even though she played a total of 9 games in her sophomore and junior seasons, she still ended up as the leading scorer in terms of total points.
Wow, that's impressive. I'm excited to see her play.
I'm just hoping everyone stays in one piece this time, because a year ago I was on hand, unfortunately, to see Backes, and that's when she tore her ACL against Grand Rapids, and I was coming down with bronchitis. I didn't know it at the time. I lost my voice at the end of the game.
Oh.
And lost my voice twice, got pink eye. So I'm glad to be calling this game in full health. Healthy. Everyone's healthy. Are you healthy?
I am healthy.
Abe, are you healthy? We're underway. Mahtomedi wearing the white. And Eve Farrell will launch the mid-range jumper. That's off the mark. Scramble for the rebound, and it's picked up by Heather Elfring, wearing Carmen Backes' old number. And it will go to Chisago Lakes. Now, if you're not keen on making the trek up here for Chisago Lakes games, they will be heading down to the Metro toward the end of the season when they visit Minnehaha Academy. But 3A among the most unpredictable classes there is. Elfring in trouble. Peters can't hit the 3. And that's Carmen Backes. That's her signature. She draws the foul on Grothaus.
Early foul.
Backes, one of the sweetest people you'll ever meet off the court, on the floor. She turns into a beast.
Well, I'm sure her coach and her teammates appreciate that.
Craig Walker told me that's a common thread with all the D1 recruits he has coached here at Chisago Lakes. Whitney Tinjum and Brianna Fernstrom also attended Chisago Lakes, and he said all of them just have that extra gear where they just go after it, and they will not be denied. Backes will go after rebounds and layups with authority. And you don't always see that, especially out here once you get to the outer ring suburbs and exurbs. Josie Underwood drives and completes the layup to give us our first basket. Now, Mahtomedi, even though they're undefeated, number 3 in the most recent 3A rankings. That might change if they keep racking up wins. Backes misses the mid-range J, but Saugstad can't corral the rebound. It will stay with Chisago Lakes. Mahtomedi undefeated. Robbinsdale Cooper number 1. Their only loss to Hopkins.
Brutal loss. I was there.
Well, not that it matters because they're not in their section anymore.
Right.
They went down to 3A, and even though it was a brutal loss, the Hawks are a contender for the 3A championship, and what Kiara Buford has done with that program, just incredible.
Absolutely.
And I don't know how many, as Emma Grothaus launches the 3 and misses, I don't know how many players or how many folks can say they've won state titles as a player and a coach, but Kiara Buford has a good chance. But these two teams have something to say about that. Cluj beats Saugstad for the score. And as much as we talked about the stars of this matchup, how the supporting players contribute will be a significant influence in this game.
And that was one thing that I'm seeing. The guards up top in the backcourt, especially for Mahtomedi, they are making sure that they put the pressure on the Chisago Lakes team.
Backes didn't get the rebound, but she influenced it. But Elfring couldn't hang on to it. Mahtomedi looking to go on the run. This is a team that's not afraid to push. We saw that in the win over Como Park. They applied a pressure defense. Como was stymied in the first half. Built a 30-point lead, and then it turned into a foul fest in the second half. 80 combined free throws. I don't think we'll see Mahtomedi take 54 free throw attempts tonight.
I hope not.
Well, Emma Grothaus certainly hopes not. But it helps when you've got some sharpshooters. Grothaus scoring. Backes fakes the 3. She'll attack and score. Remember, she's averaging near a double-double while playing roughly half of the 36 minutes you're allotted in varsity play. Entry pass.
We've had a couple of miscommunications.
And there's a foul called on Sogstad. Substitution. Lydia Molly for the Zephyrs. And I don't know if you stuck around to see De La Salle upset Mahtomedi, but while coaches stress, last year is last year, what does it say about a team as, hang on, Backes is going to go up on Grothaus, and Grothaus seals off the lane. Kluge in trouble. Missing the runner was Galach. Let's see if Grothaus goes transition. She's up on Backes. Oh, lost control.
And we've seen her capitalize off of that before, bringing the ball up the floor and actually having offensive moves.
Swish.
And an outside shot.
Grothaus, an embodiment of the stretch 4. And she times the pass. She's got a one-on-one, and she'll shoot 2. So to finish up my question, what does it say about this team where they go back to last year's loss against De La Salle as a motivator for this year?
Absolutely. That's something that, from a coaching standpoint, that you can use to push your team. You don't want to be in that situation. You get so close to the state tournament and you get eliminated. You remember that.
Just ask the Lynx.
Right, right.
And speaking of Lynx, as Grothaus makes both free throws, she's off to a quick 6. Carmen Backes, the daughter of Michelle Backes, one of the team chaplains for the Minnesota Lynx. Last year I asked Carmen who her favorite Lynx player was, and she said, I can't pick that. Which is probably the smart thing to say. Kluge.
Working hard in that paint as a guard.
Laughlin. Had the ball poked away. It will stay with the Wildcat, or the Zephyrs. And now it's going to Chisago Lakes. 13:34 left in the first half. Now, this doesn't happen too often with high school sports, but do you enjoy getting the call of the game from sort of a perch? We don't always get that in high school gyms.
Right. This is nice.
And a pretty good crowd tonight on the Chisago Lakes end. But when you go to towns like this, Chisago Lakes, or last year we had the fortune of covering the Lyle Pacelli Maranatha Christian game. We've got a foul underneath that will go against Kluge. Around here, small town basketball, a lot of these students and community members gather around because this is one of the attractions.
Right. This is the community gathering for a Tuesday night.
Last year when you're coaching at Como Park, I guess there's options.
Right.
Well, you could say that with any metro school.
We were just talking about the amount of good matchups that they have going on this week.
Well,
next week and the week after.
Always some good matchups, but tonight, for example, Como Park facing Holy Angels as Hannah Galach forces a traveling violation on Callie McGauley, number 3.
As I said before, you're going to see these guards working hard out here. They're forcing turnovers. They're getting to the basket.
Give the blocking foul and the basket to Carmen Backes. Backes, as you may know, heading to Wisconsin. Her soon-to-be head coach, Jonathan Sippis, is in attendance tonight. And I was teasing Carmen a little bit because I'm a Gophers alum about what might happen next year because she and I are technically going to be rivals. But she told me her dad also went to Minnesota, and so she's used to it.
Mike, I think you'll always be a friend.
Except for Gophers-Badgers games. But I did tell her that Wisconsin doing a more intense job or more concentrated effort getting Minnesota standouts than Minnesota is right
Absolutely.
now.
Absolutely.
Lydia Molly knocks down the corner three.
Suzanne Gilthright is over there now. Gilreath.
Backes steps into a three. That's going to be short. And just last week, Sarah Stapleton of Centennial, the junior, announced her verbal to Wisconsin. Three on the way. That is off the mark and will stay in play. That came from number 30, Saley Underwood. Chisago Lakes loses the ball. That's going to be a kick.
Just a little delayed call there. That's going to be a great lineup at Wisconsin.
You and I might have to make the trek out to Madison.
Absolutely.
For in a couple of years. Sophia Wood is in the game. Entry pass to Backes. She saves it.
You know, with a player like
dribble.
with a player like Backes, you just, if she gets the ball, she's got to score. So
It's only a matter of
defensively,
time.
you have to just not let her get the ball.
It's only a matter of time before she warms up. And the matchup that we advertised is playing out as such. Backes was 7, Grothaus was 6. It's 11-9 in favor of the Zephyrs. Mahtomedi looking to stay undefeated. Grothaus was looking for the foul call, but Backes stayed up. All ball there. Then again, I'm up here. Now Backes will take a breather again. She is mandated to, or restricted to 14 minutes per half. So this is an opportunity for the Zephyrs to cash in. 3 ball.
Great box out.
Underwood couldn't hit from the corner. As the season moves along, I'm sure that restriction will be lifted. Chisago Lakes tried to go high-low, passes a little off target. Galach goes up, can't bank it off the window. Rebound will bounce into the hands of Elfring, and she throws it right into traffic. Look out below.
Right.
Elfring and Laughlin collide. Grothaus can shoot threes, but will back off and reset. And a reach and foul is called.
And it's kind of hard when you let opposed players seal you in that paint. You really have to front and call for help side defense. Otherwise, with a player like Grothaus, you're in trouble. She catches you on her back.
I'm sure she gave you some challenges and obstacles last year when the Cougars and Zephyrs met.
Well, actually, I think Rain Adams did a great job of covering her in the 1-3-1 that we played.
5-3 against 6-3. Now that's a challenge.
Well, you know, Rain's always up for it.
Grothaus got fouled from behind, so the hesitation move paid off. And Grothaus, when she's not hooping it up, one of her hobbies is golf.
Okay.
And the rest of the Zephyrs welcomed her like a long-loved sister, and that's a traveling violation on Grothaus. Moved here from Ohio in accordance with a job relocation from her father, and she turned Mahtomedi into a household name, and she thrives being the star. Other folks, well, maybe Andre Adams comes to mind, are a little sheepish about it, as knocking down another three is Anna Peters.
Andrea's having fun at St. John's in New York.
Right, but in terms of demeanor,
Yes.
wasn't somebody who was too eager to brag about herself.
Right.
Grothaus, she's okay with it, and you know what? I appreciate that. You should acknowledge the accomplishments and the efforts you have made to transform this program into a powerhouse. Well, the Wildcats holding their own here without Backes. We'll see if it stays that way. Grothaus, toe on the line. Short anyway. E. Farrell reaches over for the rebound, and another collision.
I love those little, I call them mosquito guards that are just always there. Get a rebound and they're buzzing around.
They don't draw blood, do they?
Well,
Unlike the actual mosquito, our unofficial state bird. Here's Sophia Wood. Curls and will shoot 2. Wood and Lydia Rader, who's also on the floor, the 2 bench players that Craig Walker depends upon for the Wildcats this year. And this is a group that lost just one senior, Sarah Bieland. Everybody else, they played with each other for the last 3 years on varsity.
that chemistry shows. It's really nice when you can have a group of girls who play together on a consistent basis.
And Carmen Backes goes back in. Chisago Lakes didn't miss a beat. Mahtomedi did not score in the time Backes was out. Molly couldn't change that. Mahtomedi struggling to find their stroke right now. Here's Wood. And she traveled. 8:12 left in the first half. A couple weeks ago when I did the Mahtomedi Como game, I asked Emma and Annika Sogstad afterward if they had ever been in a game with 80 combined free throws. They both said no. Sogstad misses the elbow J, and the rebound goes to Anna Peters.
I mean, for most teams, that's enough free throws for 3 games.
And that's going to be just the first personal foul on Grothaus. But free throws coming for Carmen Backes. 80 combined free throws. Mahtomedi, one shy of the state record, 45 and 54.
Wow.
And that was a sight to see. I mean, there's no flow at all as a piece of debris fell on the court. We had to get that cleared off. I mean, folks maybe don't want to see free throws all night, but that's a strong sign of a state tournament contender.
When you can make your free throws?
Exactly. Well, Eastview, when they won in 2014, they had the fundamentals down.
Yep.
Well, the teams that win state titles
can make free throws.
They have the talent, but yeah, they work on the fundamentals too, because you never know when you're going to need those freebies. And as Annika demonstrated, as Backes, this is the three-pointer, as Sogstad demonstrated with 21 of 22, it's a great way to score points because nobody can defend you.
We call that easy money.
Exactly. I love good free throw shooters. Elena Deladon is one.
Mm-hmm.
Morgan Hill shooting nearly 95% at Minneapolis South.
Nice. And late in the game, if you have players on the floor that can shoot free throws and you coming into a foul free throw shooting situation, you can keep your players on the floor.
A collision and a foul on Josie Underwood. Grothaus blew a layup. You don't see that often on the other end. Usually when Grothaus takes it, it's money.
Sometimes when you're so open, it's too open.
How many times have we seen open players hesitate to shoot? Three on the way from Peters. Bullseye. And that elicits an applause from the Wildcats fans. Mahtomedi calls timeout. The Wildcats on a 7-0 run here.
Yeah, and I could see the coach of Mahtomedi, frustrated. I don't know if there's a new offense put in place or there was a plan, but he's not happy.
Eric Prose in his second year with the Zephyrs. Craig Walker in his 11th. The two coaches are both Chisago Lakes alumni.
Wow.
Craig Walker graduated when I was 2 years old, and Pros graduated a couple of years before that.
Okay.
And while Mahtomedi is off to the strong start, I guess we can't go without mentioning the strong start that Roseville is off to. They've only lost one game.
Right.
I believe they're 5-1 now.
Absolutely correct. You are correct. You are correct.
Although they've got a tough matchup awaiting them on Thursday with Wayzata.
I think the last two games at Roseville have been pretty tough for them, and they've arisen to the occasion.
So let's see what happens following the timeout. Saugstad, 17-footer. That's going to be short, and Chisago Lakes will let that bounce away.
Let's see if, quick turnover. Oh, okay. Oh. Let's see if Chisago can capitalize off of this out of syncness that Mahtomedi is displaying right now.
Galach with a little bit of a push off. And Peters is going to get hit with the elbow.
Can get away with it once, but don't double back on it.
Unless you were playing, right?
Well, you have to know how to do it.
I'm still waiting to see if we can dig up some archives from your Washburn days. I want to know what it was like to play in quarters. Underwood passes back out to Grothaus. Saugstad will shoot two. Annika Saugstad, a senior. Hasn't decided on a school yet, but if she decides to continue her basketball career, as the foul is charged to Fiona Tollison, 21, they're going to get one of the best free throw shooters in the state. And I jinxed her.
My Washburn days allowed me to play with some great players from the Minneapolis Conference.
Wildcats throw it away. 6:07 left in the first half. 16-12 is our score. And you're speaking of the great matchups this week. We mentioned Coleman Park Holy Angels tonight. On Thursday, you've got Cooper and Minnehaha Academy. Roseville playing Wayzata. And Holy Angels taking on Hutchinson.
That Cooper Minnehaha Academy matchup is going to be nice. They both have inside and outside game.
And Holy Angels and Hutchinson, two perennials in 3A. Carmen Backes gets in the passing lane. Forces the turnover on the Zephyrs. Tollison. That was Cluj, I should say, but couldn't get a proper angle. Saugstad racing down the other end. Baseline J off the mark from Saley Underwood. And
looks like she picked up her second foul there.
Indeed, and that's going to put the Wildcats at the line. Mahtomedi and Chisago Lakes both out of fouls to give here. Mahtomedi, the number 3 team in 3A, looking to stay undefeated, and if they get through Chisago Lakes tonight and White Bear Lake on Thursday, that's another big matchup. The winter solstice is, we ought to find another name for it. Can we rename it Big Thursday?
Maybe we can coin that. Have a Big Thursday game.
Well, with all these big matchups, if they can get through Chisago Lakes and White Bear Lake, they would have a good chance of running through the regular season undefeated. And they're going to be favored in just about every Metro East Conference game. Carmen Backes is making both free throws, and she's up to 10 points, our first double-digit score. And we speak of the great free throw shooters like Saugstad. Backes is another one. I remember you saw on the program, you saw a 6'1" guard and you had a double take. You don't see too many of those.
No.
But we're seeing a lot of lankier and taller post players and wings out there. I remember our last game you spoke about being big in your day as a 5, and you're what, 5'11"?
Right.
These days, you'd be one of the shorter posts out there.
Right.
With Grothaus at 6'3". We've got Christy Fed at Lyle Pacelli at 6'5". Miley out to Saley Underwood. Wildcats up by 6, their largest lead of the game. Underwood lines up the 3. Off the mark. And that was a little too intense of a box out.
Right.
The right idea if you're Heather Elfring, but you can't take your opponent for a ride.
Right.
I know Christmas is next Monday, but you can't use a player as a sleigh.
She's getting a chuckle out of it, too.
Eve Farrell at the line. 1-1. Farrell.
Farrell's good on the board. She rebounds well, and she's another one of those long, lean players.
And she's undecided about where she wants to go for college.
Okay.
She's narrowed it down to St. Olaf and Carleton, so she's going to go to Northfield. But the crux of her choice is whether she wants to play basketball or track in college.
Okay. She a distance runner?
Well, she's got stamina. I guess you have to if you're going to be starting and playing as many minutes as she does. I'll have to look into that. Well, in track, there's so many ways you can take part.
Right.
Sprinting, distance running.
Field activities.
Exactly. 3 on the way, that's going to be short. And dead ball rebound to the Zephyrs. And these next 4 minutes without Grothaus, this is going to be key for Mahtomedi here if they can hang around. And when Backes went to the bench, Chisago Lakes didn't miss too much of a beat. But that's not going to help. Unforced turnovers like that.
Right. And let's see how Farrell, I think she's taking on the defensive assignment of Backes, I'm sorry. Yeah. And she knows that Grothaus is out, so.
Backes high-low to Cluj. Last touch by Mahtomedi. Not the most efficient first half we've seen.
And with this Mahtomedi team, I really am used to seeing them have great execution.
It's a walk. Nice move by Backes, but that will not count.
She'll get it right.
Took one too many Euro steps, and here comes Grothaus in for Farrell. Remember, she has 2 fouls, so something to keep an eye on.
Maybe we'll do the offense-defense sub-in, sub-out.
That would be an interesting strategy in the first half. I'm used to it in the second half.
Right.
But, this is a Chisago Lakes team that's still getting their chemistry together. With Backes back in the lineup. And Mahtomedi, that's a double whammy. They missed the layup, and they commit the foul 80 feet away from their basket. So free throws will be coming for Anna Peters. Anna Peters. Averaging 9.2 a game. Knocks down the front end, has a couple of trays here.
I love how the ref throws the ball in and then he goes all the way over to the deep corner.
Well, he knows how much effort these players put in. I don't think he wants to be,
Right.
I don't think he wants a front row seat if they get anywhere near. As I saw Backes at that Norway Young America game, you do not want to mess with her when she's on the floor. Underwood to Sogstad, lost control. Underwood launches the three. That's short. Backes with the rebound. You see how she leaps up?
Right.
Great vertical. Kluge. Chisago Lakes lost control. You wonder if some of these moves that Chisago Lakes is executing will... Oh, here's a...
Oh. Mosquito guards. There you go.
Galach caught me off guard so much, I'm speechless.
I hope my little one's watching that. I'm trying to get her to be a mosquito guard.
What about Velociraptor? Or since Star Wars came out, how about an X-Wing? Make her an X-Wing guard.
We'll get right on that,
Galach makes both free throws. Craig Walker highlighted Galach as one of the keys that makes this offense run. Here she runs the point guard slot. Averaging 8 a game. Even though Backes is the focal point of the Chisago Lakes team, there are some good role players who could make this Wildcat contingent a force to be reckoned with in the Section 7-3A playoffs. Again, Grand Rapids, the most likely contender, although the Wildcats are coming off a loss not too long ago to Hermantown, 71-47. Again, double dribble. It has not been easy for Grothaus or Backes in this first half.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when Grothaus got that ball in the paint, there were 4 green jerseys around her.
And whenever Backes touches the ball, she gets swarmed.
I think Backes has the advantage of speed.
Well, both teams probably well aware of the star power their opponent has. Sogstad, another missed three. And that's been an issue for the Zephyrs. If you make some outside shots, that might open things up for Grothaus inside, but they're not falling, and that's going to be a push. Double bonus now for the Wildcats. And the Wildcats are working their way to the free throw line. So while this has been a rather ugly first half in terms of flow, Chisago Lakes slowly building their lead from the charity stripe.
Gives your team an opportunity to take a little breather.
Heather Elfring.
Now, this is one thing that's different when I played high school. At the free throw line, the crowd was the loudest. It almost falls deathly silent in here at the free throw line when the players at the free throw line now.
Well, remember, this is the home team.
Oh, yeah,
Heather
you're
Elfring's
right.
a member of the home team.
You're right.
Heather Elfring going to Mayville State next year. Knocks down both free throws. The Wildcats, 10 of 13. Mahtomedi, 5 of 6.
There are away fans over there. Maybe.
Maybe we're just polite up here. And a collision between Lydia Rader and Annika Sogstad. So Annika will go to the line. That game, oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, if it's a collision, that means they both ran into each other, so then there should not be a foul call.
I just say collision because that's what happens. The two players make contact and they bump into each other. And Carmen Backes is going to wipe up some perspiration. Did you have to do that when you were playing?
No. If you ever see any of my film, I have a little brother and a little sister who are 10 and 11 years younger than me. They love doing that job, handing out the water bottles and the timeouts.
Well, nice to see Carmen Backes take a breather for a minute. This is her gym, after all. I suppose you should clean up after yourself. Sogstad makes the front
great
end.
Leadership.
I was going to say in that Como Park game, when she hit 21 of 22, she had 28 points in all, only 3 field goals. Here, no field goals. All 3 points have come from the free throw line. She's 3 of 4 so far. Elfring to Wood. Wood goes up. That was a tough shot. Or maybe that was disguised as a pass. Lydia Raiders scores.
In the book, we will count that as an assist.
That was an assist disguised as a field goal attempt. And that's going to be a foul on Elfring. That will be the second on Elfring, and more free throws coming for the Zephyrs. Eve Farrell at the line. Knocked down both her first time up. And missed that one. She did tell me when I spoke to her about Emma Grothaus how she got word on all the rumors about this big tall girl coming to Mahtomedi. There's a big tall girl knocking down the runner. That's Carmen Backes. She's up to 12. "25 seconds. We'll see if Mahtomedi holds for the final shot.
And that's another thing. Mahtomedi is very good at running their offense and
Bullseye.
patient.
Mahtomedi doesn't hold, and Hannah Laughlin knocks down the 3. Badly needed bucket for the Zephyrs, but the Wildcats can hold for the final shot now. Backes, are you kidding me? Up and under and in. An exciting way to end the first half. Well, that would not have counted, but that would have been the exclamation point. Carmen Backes, a razzle-dazzle highlight to end the first half. The Wildcats up by 11 over the number 3 team in Class 3A.
She made that look too easy.
That's what the greats do. You probably had that down to a T at Washburn, didn't you?
Oh, Mike.
Well, while Latoya collects herself for a minute, we'll take a break and we'll take you to my most recent interview with Carmen Backes, which I conducted at the Tip-Off Classic, where she talked about her return to basketball. She was cleared to play in October. And then we'll bring you the second half. You're watching high school girls basketball. The Wildcats lead the Zephyrs 30-19. How does it feel to be playing again? You've had a couple of games now, and what does it mean to be back out on the court again?
Well, it's definitely going to be a transition time, getting back into things and getting my groove back. But it just feels like coming home. I'm just thrilled to be back and playing with my team, and whatever I can contribute right now, I'm just trying to do my best and not push myself to overstretch what I can do with my limits. And so, yeah, it feels great. Let me tell you, after sitting out for the majority of 2 seasons, finally getting let back on the court, I just feel like I'm let loose again, and I think it's an expression of all my passion for the game that I haven't had an outlet to release for a while.
And what is the reacclimation process like? Because you missed the AAU season and most of the fall stuff, so you didn't have a lot of time to work your way back into it. So how do you get yourself back in game shape?
Yeah, so I had been training with my physical therapist ever since I got injured, so I felt pretty conditioned. But right now the process is I still lift twice a week. I still go in and I get my legs checked to make sure my symmetry is correct with my quad circumference and my jumping. And then once I get back to 100% symmetry, I'll be able to play the whole game, because right now I'm limited to like half of the minutes. So
you committed to Wisconsin earlier in the year, so how exciting was that, and what did that mean for you, knowing that schools are still willing to bring you on board despite everything that's happened to you?
I was really honored. Wisconsin stayed with me all the way, offered me encouragement every step of the way along my rehab. They didn't blink an eye about the injury, and so I am so looking forward to going there and trying to get the Badgers back in the top of the Big Ten.
And just overall, what got you interested in joining Wisconsin?
The coaching staff was amazing, extremely personable. I feel like it's family. The class that they're bringing in my grade is going to be fantastic. We've already communicated a lot, and I think it's just going to be, there's only potential there.
These first couple of games, I guess that first varsity game, just what was your mentality? What was your mood like when your name was called, you got to take the floor, and it's like after going down in January, it's like I'm back.
I tried to just really soak in the moment, and during the national anthem, I actually almost started tearing up because I just realized how hard I'd worked to get back here, and even though like tonight things really didn't shake out our way, I mean, I can't complain. I'm out playing the game I love on a Saturday night. There's nothing better.
And you've been through this before, but going through this a second time, just how did this whole process maybe strengthen your commitment or your just passion for the game here? I would say mental toughness was absolutely huge. I mean, going through rehab every day, doing the same things, not being able to get the rewardingness of like an actual game. I just think you have to, it's not really an option whether to come back or whether to work hard. It's just that's what I had to do, and I'm very proud of myself for doing it and getting through. What would you offer to maybe some other folks who've gone through something like this about perseverance and staying with it and making your way back after taking a fall like you did?
I would just say the best mentality to have is that working hard and going in every day is not an option. If you decide you want to come back stronger, you will, and put your mind to it. It's completely possible, and I do believe you will come back 100% stronger.
Well, Mike Peden and Latoya Turk back with you. Latoya, did you have a chance to see if your daughter took any notes from that first half?
She was doing her homework. She missed it.
Well, student does come before athletes.
Absolutely. And it's coming close to winter break, so she has some finals coming up, so I'm okay with that.
Well, she'll have a chance to watch this on tape.
Yeah.
Chisago Lakes with an 11-point lead over Mahtomedi. They led by as much as 12. Maybe not necessarily the result you were expecting between these two teams, but give a lot of credit to Chisago Lakes and their containment of Emma Grothaus. Grothaus held to just 6 points. She's the leading scorer for the Zephyrs, and that's the story right there.
Right.
For Chisago Lakes, Carmen Backes with 14 points, Anna Peters with 8. So Backes on pace for her 17. It's amazing how consistent she's been in the last couple of years. Last year, she started the season with 4 straight 29-point games. This year, she's had 3 17-point games and then a 15 and a 19 to get her 17-point average.
And I think she's just warming up.
Well, and remember, she was limited in minutes early on in the season. As more games are played, that restriction will be lifted. And toward the end of the season, I think Carmen Backes is going to be the beast that dominated the glass and the score sheet up until her injury a year ago.
There's some characteristics about her that just say she's a very well-refined player. The way she moves.
She was averaging close to 30 a game before the injury. But let's see what happens. As Mahtomedi, a resilient team, they know how to work the way around. And they're prepared against a multitude of defensive assignments. They told me in the game against Como Park, they knew Como played aggressive. They said a lot of city teams do that, and they planned on being at the free throw line a lot.
Right.
I don't think they expected to be there 54 times. But they took advantage of the situation. Grothaus, baseline J, no good. And this is a Wildcats team that lost big to Norwood Young America and Hermantown. Kluge for 3. Beat Edina last Tuesday, I should say, 47-40. High low to Backes, got it.
Nice movement without the ball.
And how big a win would this be for Chisago Lakes if they can hang on?
Absolutely.
Grothaus, rebound, put back. Well, that's one way to score.
Right.
That's about the only time she's been open in the last 15 minutes of gameplay. Chisago Lakes answers with a three-pointer from Anna Peters. That is her third. She's up to 11. And the Wildcats lead continues to expand. It's up to 14. Underwood, nice drive.
And Underwood has shown some great drives to the basket. I think they're going to need to go to her a little bit more to try to cut this lead.
And Chisago Lakes throws it away. And I know folks will share jokes about how suburban teams play, but I've seen Mahtomedi a few times, and Chisago Lakes, there's no lack of athleticism here.
No.
You don't have to be at one of those big metro schools to have talent and versatility. And that's a push foul. Backes is excited. Grothaus picking up her third with 15:49 left in the second. That could be a huge foul. And now the student section getting into it. I think this is the first time they've picked up on a chant. Backes draws the blocking foul and will shoot two.
And now with Backes knowing that Grothaus has 3 fouls, it would be smart for them to give the ball to her. She has a great drive. She take the shot off the dribble, so we'll see if she can get Emma to pick up her 4th foul.
Well, this time it was Hannah Laughlin who picked up the foul, her second. Backes missing the front end. Not quite where she was a year ago, in the words of Craig Walker, but she's pretty darn close, if tonight is any indication. Not afraid to shoot outside. One of the toughest workers that Craig Walker has ever had in his Chisago Lakes tenure. And it helps in Carmen's case that she gets to hang around a few proteges or role models. Bullseye. Josie Underwood scores from Mahtomedi. And that was lacking for Mahtomedi's offense in the first half. If they can knock down some threes, I would presume things could open up for Grothaus. Backes with the answer. Off the heel. Laughlin out to Underwood, and she'll reset for the Zephyrs. Elbow J, swish. Annika Sogstab with the first field goal. Mahtomedi, a bevy of quality wins. They beat De La Salle in the Tip-Off Classic. And they're coming off a win over Woodbury on Saturday. Backes, spin move. Oh, Grothaus got her that time.
She likes that spin move.
And we speak about the statement win with the victory over De La Salle. Mahtomedi making a statement here. The Zephyrs have trimmed the margin to 6. They've scored the last 7. Craig Walker going to hang on to his timeouts for now. Backes, that was a tough entry pass and a tough shot.
She held on to it.
Mahtomedi ball. Another statement win for the Zephyrs that went over Woodbury, even though the circumstances are somewhat different. Last year, Woodbury defeated Mahtomedi by 32 or 31, 61-30. So flipping that result from a year ago,
right,
also big.
It's amazing what a few players leaving your program can do or not do for you.
Grothaus comes up short, gets her own rebound, get another try at it, and the foul on Backes. Grothaus taking control in the paint now. And we spoke of Backes and all of the Minnesota recruits going to Wisconsin. Grothaus is part of a growing pipeline for Lehigh. Megan Walker, also a member of the 2018 class, will join her. In fact, one of Lehigh's scouts is here. You have Mariah Sexy there now, Hannah Hedstrom. Lehigh's been working extremely hard
No,
to get Minnesota players.
we could just get the U to buy into our players.
Yeah, it seems everybody except the U is interested in Minnesota recruits.
Minnesota, our players are interested in playing for you.
Well, look what happened with Andrea Adams. You kind of wonder what if what if Minnesota made a stronger play for her, considering what she's doing at St. John's right now.
Right. Can you just see that backcourt?
Hannah Galach knocks down a much-needed 3 for the Wildcats. The Zephyrs were on an 8-0 run until that triple. But Andrea Adams having a breakout season for the Red Storm this year.
Farrell's working hard down there.
Backes taking her mandated breather right now. Annika Sogstad, count it. And Grothaus on the bench with 3 fouls, but you're seeing Mahtomedi's role players stepping up now.
Right.
Underwood and Sogstad picking up the pace.
They even get quiet for the opposing team on the free throw line.
Yeah, everyone is polite around here. It wasn't like that when you played, though.
No.
Is it like that at Roseville games?
A little bit. That'll change.
Pass almost stolen.
My oldest daughter graduated from Eastridge. They had a phenomenal fan section. Minnehaha Academy. Those fans aren't quiet.
Long 2 is good for Sarah Bielen. Sarah, the younger sister of Alyssa Bielen, who graduated from Chisago Lakes last year. And something that increased the Wildcats' resolve as Farrell shoots free throws. You know, last year when Backes, or 2 years ago when Backes got hurt, Chisago Lakes, I don't think won a game, or maybe 2. Last year, again, they struggled, but they were able to pick up a few more victories. Kind of learning how to play without her, and even though Backes makes them light years better,
Right.
it's good experience. And here's Eve Farrell at the line for 2. The foul is the 3rd, charged to Sophia Wood. Farrell does not have a field goal yet. And Mahtomedi nowhere close to the 54 attempts we saw in the Como game. But the Zephyrs.
That's never going to go away, is it?
54. Not when you were there to see it. But they are 11 of 14. Again, a very accurate free throw shooting team, especially with Sogstad. And that pass was deflected by Sogstad. And Backes will go in right now. And Grothaus will as well. All right, Backes and Grothaus. Grothaus with 3 fouls, Backes with just 1. Gonna have to keep an eye on that. But this is a big game for both teams. Three ball, off the mark, rebound Sogstad. Sogstad steps into a J, banks it in. 3-point game. Wildcats led by as much as 14, but here come the Zephyrs. Little hesitation move from Backes. Mahtomedi doesn't fall for it. Wildcats swing it around. They lose the ball. Sogstad picks it up. Tried to go back door. And Chisago Lakes got the deflection. Sophia Wood comes up with it. Big stop there for the Wildcats. Backes is calling for it. You know she's going to want to take it.
Oh,
and 3 is off the mark.
I think Emma got a little piece of that.
That's going to be a charge. Underwood barrels into Heather Elfring. And that's the 3rd foul on Underwood.
And they really need her on the floor. She pushes the ball. She gets in those passing lanes. It's that grit time.
And we'll have a timeout with 10:25 left in the second. But the Zephyrs have trimmed what was a 14-point deficit down to 3.
A lot of time still left on the clock.
Mahtomedi calling that timeout. So they beat Como Park. They knocked off De La Salle, and they defeated Woodbury. So 3 teams where they flipped the outcome from a year ago. And again, circumstances change with seniors who graduate, things like that. But that's a good sign if you're taking losses and turning them into wins.
Right.
That logic applied a little more on electoral maps, but in the case of Mahtomedi, you can use that to highlight the camaraderie and the strength of this team.
Right.
Chisago Lakes started the year with a runaway win over Little Falls, struggled against Noah Young America. Carmen Backes again limited in minutes, and she got in foul trouble on top of it. They beat Zimmerman, lost to Hermantown, and beat Edina. So the Wildcats have not had a streak of either sort yet. They've been trading wins and losses. They would like to change that as they hope to hang on against this Mahtomedi team. And neither team necessarily deep, but their stars so instrumental.
And Underwood has to be careful there. She doesn't want to pick up her 4th foul.
Clues wasn't afraid of her, was she? That's not easy to do.
There's something about knowing that the player who's playing defense on you is in foul trouble.
And Sogstad throws it away. A little miscommunication on that route. Wildcats looking to knock off one of the few undefeated teams remaining in Class 3A. Holy Angels, they're not undefeated. They lost to Dowling. Cooper isn't undefeated. They lost to Hopkins. Mahtomedi, one of the last undefeated standing in what is usually the most unpredictable class in the state. If you can get to the state tournament, you have a good chance of winning it. Sogstad gets the steal. Nice movement by Mahtomedi, and Grothaus is there with the finish.
That's knowing your teammate.
Grothaus up to 11. 9 minutes to go. Backes. And knocking down the 13-footer is Anna Peters. One thing's for sure, the flow was really picked up in the second half.
Right.
Grothaus, fade away. Yes.
That's a move that her and Destiny Oberg from Holy Angels do very well.
Well, we'll be seeing that. Well, you won't, because you're going to be cheering on Roseville on Thursday. That will stay with Chisago Lakes. But I'll be going to Holy Angels on Thursday, and I'll get to see a few of those moves from Oberg as they take on Hutchinson. This guy over here is going to be cheering for Hutchinson. And the Chisago Lakes trying to cheer their team on. Backes with the reverse. She's up to 19. Her season high. Grothaus on Backes. Draws the foul. Just a second on Backes, but free throws coming for Emma.
Got to beat her to the spot.
And Emma has all the tools that could make her a success at Lehigh next year, although she teased about her free throw percentage.
Well,
because someone took notice of my tweet when Sogstad knocked down 21 of 22, put it into the stat column, showed it to Annika. She got a kick out of it, and Emma was quipped. So my free throw percentage is probably 50. Well, whatever it is, she has a nice touch. I know a lot of folks maybe have those old stereotypes about post players that can't shoot beyond 15 feet. That's not the case with Grothaus.
No.
Has to settle for a split there, though. Galach for three. Short, and it is. And Backes couldn't save it because she stepped on the line.
But if that line would not have been there, it would have been safe.
Unfortunately, the sports has a limit on how long the courts can go. At this level, it's 84 feet. College and the pros, 94. Backes on the bench. Craig Walker going to save her for one last run as the Wildcats hang on with what is a 4-point lead right now. Grothaus, though, is attacking and finding her spaces. She's going to shoot two more. Foul is the second charge to Anna Peters. Emma Grothaus up to 14. Knocks down the front end.
Make it 15.
Entering this game, her season low was 21. 20 points or better in every game this season. She had 32 in the win over De La Salle.
And how is that possible with the number of post players, strong post players they have at De La Salle?
Well, Emma Grothaus had height. De La Salle, not so much. And she used it to her advantage. That's going to be a charge on Chisago Lakes.
Took a chance there.
And it cost the Wildcats.
Yeah.
And that also puts Mahtomedi in the bonus for the rest of the game. The foul is the third charge to Alethea Kluge. Zephyrs,
they know who they're going to.
They have a chance to tie or take their first lead since early in the first half. Grothaus will shoot two more, and if that's on Kluge, that will be her fourth. It is. Well, that's going to bring in Fiona Tollefson and the Wildcats in all sorts of trouble here. And this is where you'd like to have Backes, but again, she's restricted in her minutes. How about the rebound for Grothaus? 6 points in the first half, 11 this half, and Craig Walker's going to call a timeout. Chisago Lakes had all five available.
Well, I think Kluge was so worried about getting that foul, she didn't turn and box out on that last play.
And she ended up getting the foul anyway.
Right. And she truly did just have her hands up. And I think it starts before the shot comes up. Emma's coming across using that screen from the opposite of the ball side, and they just got to beat her to the spot. If you get caught on her back, it's not going to work for you. It's not going to be good for you. Got to beat her to that box.
If you're Chisago Lakes, how do you respond to this? Because you were up by 14, and most of that, you have Backes out for some stretches, and the Wildcats seem like they had Grothaus contained. It's a different story right now.
Yeah. I think they just need to attack the basket. Share the wealth on those fouls. Get to the free throw line, make your free throws. Capitalize off some drives to the basket and ones.
Grothaus on the back end of her free throws here. Oh, maybe that timeout was to ice the shooter. That will stay with Chisago Lakes. And And plenty of good matchups remaining. Oh, nice entry pass.
Too
And
open.
Raider couldn't finish. Grothaus lost it. Chisago Lakes stayed with her, and well, there's a saying in basketball, if you beat everybody, there's only one place your defenders are, and that's behind you. Well, nobody hanging on to the ball right now. Sogstad to Underwood. Hesitation move, draws the foul. Count it!
I think the momentum has swung.
Mahtomedi with their first lead since early in the first half.
I think maybe Chisago's running out of gas, having to keep up at this pace, at a Mahtomedi pace. They can slow it down and run their offense.
Well, they've been getting to the free throw line in the second half. 3 double-digit scores, an offensive foul on Lydia Raider.
Use their fundamentals, jump to the ball, box out.
Wildcats looking out of sorts here. Backes is going to go back in at the next whistle. Scramble for the ball. Well, almost. Mahtomedi in the double bonus the rest of the way. And the Zephyrs still have 3 fouls to give on their end. That's a symbol of the shift in momentum as Latoya described earlier.
Good, and you can see now they're fronting Grothaus. Backes is not letting her post up.
And it pays off. Chisago Lakes gets the steal. Long 2 is good. Anna Peters up to 15, and we're tied at 49. And that's going to be a foul. Anna Peters a little too grabby there.
Yeah.
And that's a tough one to take. That's going to put Saley Underwood at the line. Saley hasn't scored a lot, though, averaging just 5.2 entering this game. Knocks down the back end. Do the Wildcats have anything left? We'll find out in the next 5 minutes and change.
I think if they open it up for Backes.
And the Chisago Lakes fans cheering because Backes broke the ankles of Grothaus. And Mahtomedi reached in a little too much. Sogstad will be hit with a foul.
I honestly feel like if they get it to Backes and they open it up, she can score for them.
Zephyr still with 2 to give, but that's the 3rd on Sogstad. And now the fans are reminding Emma of that little crisscross move. There's that spin move, and that's the 4th on Grothaus. And Backes is going to shoot free throws.
I think that's her move.
So the Zephyrs eat up 2 of their fouls to give on that sequence, and Backes will go to the line for 2. And that, my friends, is the first 20-point game this season for Carmen Backes. Likely not her last.
Agree. Sometimes that's what you need to get you going as a player. A couple of free throws, get to the line a little bit.
A new season high, this we should also point out. Grothaus, no good. Too far underneath. Well, and that's a tough one.
Is that the only way to stop her is follow underneath there?
Well, that's tough because I don't think there was much Backes could have done, or that's not going to be Backes. That's going to go on Rader. Rader must have fouled her from behind.
I love the shush that the crowd's doing. Can you hear them?
I thought I heard rattlesnakes.
Yeah, they're going shh.
Well, again, not quite the free throw battle we saw at the last Mahtomedi game, but it's becoming crucial. Grothaus splits. We're tied at 51.
And we have a game, Mike.
Wildcats led by as much as 14. Mahtomedi came all the way back. But this game far from over. Baseline drive is good for Rader. Just her second field goal, but it's a big one. Chisago Lakes looking to knock off an undefeated team, the number 3 team in 3A. Free throws coming for Josie Underwood.
Josie's just gets to that basket very well.
That's on Galach, her third. A lot of players with 3 fouls for the Wildcats. And Grothaus on the floor with 4, but at this stage in the game, you can't take her out. Josie Underwood averaging 6.2 a game. And Mahtomedi having some difficulties here at the line. Underwood missed both.
I know it.
And that's a foul on Josie Underwood. That's going to be her 4th. And Mahtomedi is out of fouls to give now. How quickly things can change in the sport of basketball. And we're still not done.
And Underwood was really working Galach. You see they've made a defensive switch now.
And now Chisago Lakes will shoot free throws. That's going to be the 3rd on Hannah Laughlin. That will send Galach to the line. Galach averaging 8 a game. And here we go again with the Rattlesnakes.
So I'm watching the player from Mahtomedi who's boxing out the shooter at the free throw line. And is the Minnesota State High School League rule that can't make contact with the shooter until after the ball hits the rim?
You would know the rules better than I do, but
I think it is.
I do know that Galach makes both free throws to make it a 2-possession game, and that is the more critical takeaway at the moment. Sogstad tried the kick out. It is recovered by Laughlin. There's Grothaus. Sogstad left alone for 3. Got it! Sogstad with 13. 1-point game. We've got a photo finish brewing, folks. Who's going to step it up? We shall see. And both teams with plenty of timeouts if they need them. Entry pass. Picked off by Sogstad.
Backes was working hard to get position.
Well, she knows it's crunch time now. Grothaus to Laughlin. Now Farrell.
Yeah, here's that discipline on offense. That
Contact.
Mahtomedi, the patience. I've seen them run their offense for over a minute at a time on a possession.
With no shot clock, you're welcome to do so.
And eventually, someone's going to miss an assignment.
Right. On the flip side, the danger is the longer you run those sets, especially without a shot clock, the more chances you have to make a mistake.
Yep.
It goes both ways. And remember, Mahtomedi is trailing by 1, so while patience is a virtue here, they have to know at this point they still have to score.
They do, but they have 1 minute and 58 seconds to do it. So if they can run that clock down and then hold their defensive position on defense, they can pull this off.
Win for Mahtomedi would put them at 7-0, and as we noted, would knock off another test in a path to a potentially undefeated season. Again, they're going to be the favorite in Metro East Conference play, although Simley is coming along and Hastings off to a nice start, so the Metro East could get more interesting this year. Simley playing Robbinsdale Cooper tonight. And Tartan, not too bad either.
Young team. I like Turk. New coaching staff over there, right?
Right, Justin Burgess, the Minneapolis North graduate. So, as we noted, this is a crucial week for Mahtomedi, and for Chisago Lakes, this would be a huge win that would get them some respect. May not get them back in the top 10 in 3A, but it would be a big win in their pocket when seeding time rolls around. Now, Mahtomedi does have 2 timeouts left. There's Grothaus, no good. She saw her opening, got through Backes, but couldn't finish.
And got her own rebound.
So, Mahtomedi got exactly what they were looking for, just didn't work out. Nothing called. Backes goes up. Big time putback for the Wisconsin recruit. 1:20 to go.
So what's the
Wildcats
game
up 3.
plan, Mike? What do you do at this point if you're Mahtomedi?
Well, don't need to force it. You've got Grothaus. A 3 would tie it, though. They tried to go entry pass to Grothaus, and Backes with the steal and the foul. Carmen Backes, her first 20-point game of the year. And now the Wildcats on the precipice of their biggest win this season.
Yep.
You almost took the words right out of my mouth, just like Meatloaf. And Abe can only shake his head at another musical pop culture reference. Oh, Backes missed the front end of a 1-and-1. Saugstad, yes!
I think their coach ran track too. Did you see how fast he ran up to the ref for the timeout? You have to catch that on the replay.
56.5 seconds left. Mahtomedi, they're down to 1, so this is going to be interesting. Looking at the game reset. Mahtomedi in the double bonus. Chisago Lakes still in the 1-and-1 range. Wildcats have the possession arrow should we have a tie-up. Wildcats have 4 timeouts. Mahtomedi has 1. I'm not used to seeing coaches hang on to their timeouts as much as these two have.
Well, smart that they did.
Well, it worked out. As you get some like Quentin Johnson who says they don't carry over, you might as well use them. But for Chisago Lakes, it could be a benefit because if things get dicey, they have a way of stopping the clock. Mahtomedi, they're down to just 1. And we still may not be done. Backes going deep. Anna Galach takes control, and Craig Walker using one of his 4 timeouts remaining. Now, this is the downside to a close game, is that sometimes that last minute can take 10.
Right.
As you've been privy to in high school, and I'm sure in college and the pros you have a close game, and a very drama-filled last minute, though.
Yeah. And this is when the coach becomes a very important piece of the puzzle here. As the athletes, these are teaching opportunities for them. Those last-minute scenarios that you go over in practice, this is that time.
So if you're Chisago Lakes, you only have a 1-point lead. Do you dare Mahtomedi to play foul and chase? Because remember, they've got 3 players with 4 fouls, Saugstad, Josie Underwood, and Grothaus. Or do you attack an opening if one is there?
Oh, I would do both. If they're going to chase, let them chase. I would have my best free throw shooters on the floor. But never pass on a take to the basket or an open shot if you're a shooter. That's when the fundamentals come in play. The shot goes up, you get a hand in their face, you box out.
Now the question is for Chisago Lakes, oh, that was dangerous. Almost picked off there. And that is picked off. They tried to go to Backes and it didn't work out.
So now they have to D up.
35 seconds, Zephyrs with 1 timeout left if they need it. Underwood, short, rebound, Backes, and Grothaus can't foul her with 4. Wildcats can eat up clock here, although they do have to get it across the timeline. Galach does.
And she's handled the ball very well for them tonight.
And just almost immediately, Craig Walker called timeout. And an unusual circumstance, but there's the downside to all those players having 4 fouls. Grothaus couldn't do anything when Backes got the rebound because she would have fouled out otherwise.
So do you draw a play up for a quick score?
At this point, you got 15.9.
Do you hold it? Because
You only need to win by 1.
The last 2 possessions, they haven't done well with
Ball
holding
control.
that ball and passing the ball around to run the clock.
Well, here's the
time on
thing.
clock.
You know, you run out the clock because remember, at this level, even if Mahtomedi calls timeout, you cannot advance the ball. Well, this is tough.
Yeah. You got to know your player personnel at this point.
You know they're going to want to set up for Backes because she's a strong free throw shooter and she can create.
Yeah. I'd put the ball in Galach's hands. I'd put the ball in Heather's hands. And, of course, Backes.
Now Chisago Lakes still has 2 timeouts, but they can't get the inbound, and Mahtomedi playing foul and chase right away. That's going to be on Laughlin. That is her 4th. And still 1-1 for the Wildcats here. So if Elfring misses this first one, the Zephyrs will have plenty of time for the game winner.
Right.
What a finish.
No pressure.
Elfring has not made a field goal. Now, even if she makes the second one, it's still a 1-possession game. Mahtomedi can tie it with a 3, and they have 15 seconds left.
You can hear the crowd saying, "Take the charge." Do they know something we don't know?
Well, they won't have to worry about it for now. Interesting call here. Mahtomedi going to use their last timeout, I presume, to draw up a play. But if they have trouble getting the inbound pass in, they don't have any more timeouts.
I don't see that happening with this Mahtomedi team having trouble getting the ball in.
They're a strong team. I'm just throwing it out there because
Right.
that's what's at stake.
Right. And I do think they have the tools to draw up a 3-point shot for a shooter. They have enough players that can do it or get to the basket and get fouled. So it will be interesting these last 11.1 seconds that we're about to partake in.
Now, this is a team that doesn't go out to the 3-point line much. Grothaus can make threes if She has two. Saugstad has one. Josie Underwood has one.
Right.
Lydia Miley has one. But Mahtomedi more of a team that attacks the inside. You need a 3 here. And you're out of timeout, so I don't know if you go for a quick 2, considering that the clock doesn't stop after a made basket.
Protect the basket, ladies. I always say that is a setup when everyone's outside of the paint.
Grothaus with it, 10 seconds. Underwood can't shake free. Grothaus for the tie. No good. That's it. Chisago Lakes knocks down the number 3 team in 3A. 59-56 the final. Mahtomedi no longer undefeated. The Wildcats with the first winning streak. And this could be a win that galvanizes the season for the Wildcats. Grothaus was open. You can't blame her for taking that shot.
Right.
Just didn't fall.
Right.
And the celebration, it's a big one going at the Wildcats bench. They're having a lot of fun, and this was a lot of fun.
It was. This loss really takes the air out of Mahtomedi. I don't think they were expecting that. But it might be the only blemish on their record for this year, because looking at their lineup, like you said, if they can get through those next couple of teams, this could be this could be their only loss.
And they're going to greet their fans, and we're going to try to get a word with some of the Wildcats players before we wrap things up. You're watching high school girls basketball. Chisago Lakes upsets Mahtomedi 59-56. And I'm joined by Anna Peters and Carmen Backes. Anna, we'll start with you. What does it mean to get a win against a previously undefeated Mahtomedi team?
It really changes our team dynamic. It just brings us up so much, and it pumps us up for the rest of the year.
How intense was that final minute?
Oh my gosh, I can't even explain it. You get so into the game, you can't even think about anything else, and all you're doing is trying to win.
You had a 14-point lead early in the second half, saw that go away. How did you bounce back?
I think we just stuck together as a team, and we counted on each other to get the rebounds and just push it and never give up.
And you talk about how big this win is. How could a performance like this help galvanize your season?
I think it can bring it together. It shows people who we really are, and nobody can, look down on us anymore.
And how exciting is it to have your first winning streak of the year with a win like this?
It's amazing. I can't even, it's amazing to have wins like this against 2 undefeated teams in a row. It's awesome.
Carmen, you had a season high tonight, 23, and gave us a little razzle-dazzle at the end of the first half. I think the old Carmen Backes is back now. But just how do you stay composed after you see a 14-point lead evaporate, and how did you sweat through that final minute? Because you had that rebound after Grothaus was open.
Well, I think we knew that the reason that we lost the lead was just a few defensive errors. So we knew that those were things that we could control and change. And so we definitely picked up the defense in the last minutes and rebounded. And I think being in these kind of positions before gives us experience so we can stay composed. And that's exactly what we did.
Now, was this part of any conspiracy or secret plan of yours? Because your future head coach was on hand tonight. Was this an audition to maybe get a starting job next year?
Oh, hey, it was a good game for him to come to. That's all I'm going to say.
In all seriousness, up until this point, you had traded wins and losses. So what does it mean for you to get that first set of back-to-back wins and maybe even more?
I think we knew all along that this was the team that we were, but this just solidifies it and shows that we have the capacity and we have the players, we have the depth, we have the composure to finish in these huge games, and I think that's going to give us a lot of confidence for the future.
Now, you, of course, were hurt the last couple of years and had to watch your team from the sidelines. Last year, this team was able to put together a few wins. How do you think that experience is going to help the team this year, and how do you think that showed in a game like this where you've got a charging Mahtomedi team?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious that we're a lot more even spread with responsibilities this year. Anna's been our huge shooter. She's just hitting threes, and I feel like since we have a lot of threats now with the depth, that we are a lot more intimidating for other teams and a lot harder to guard, and that's huge. That's really important. That's probably why we're going to be successful in the long run.
And take us through that celebration you had with the student section at the end of the game.
We were kind of happy about that. We had a great turnout for our first home game, and yeah, a lot of energy in the gym. That helped us push through for sure.
That's right. It was your home opener, and I think for the two of us, this time around, we both are in one piece. Yeah. I don't have bronchitis. Your knee is still together, so maybe this is a sign that things will turn out for everybody. Is anyone you want to say hi to?
My grandma in Fridley.
Yeah. Grandparents in Wisconsin, hey.
So, well, you're going to have some family, I guess, check you out when you get to Madison next year.
Yep, right there. She's here right now.
One of them is. So congratulations on the win. Hopefully more will be coming your way. And I think you made a statement that Chisago Lakes is not to be underestimated after a game like this.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anna Peters and Carmen Backes of Chisago Lakes. That wraps up our coverage here from Lindstrom. For our entire crew, I'm Mike Peden. Thank you for watching.